welcome back, ladies and gentle peasants, to your dear Final Fantasy Peasants channel, or as they know me in Japan supposedly, Final Fantasy Farmer. I mean, I don't know if that's an upgrade or downgrade from Peasant, I can't really decide. But I'm going to be covering the news today, and it's a little bit old, that Final Fantasy 15 is going to be continuing into 2018.
My hair does not look like a chocobo butt.
Continuing with a second season past is, quote, going to be to cover nothing but story, that they don't want to dig even in further into some of the story of the characters, that this time they want to dig into the story of the world, the back setting of EOS and the world that our characters live in. Now that says to me, Arden, for one, we're going to be getting the Arden story. He said that they want to do it, although kind of around the time he was talking about doing Arden, he was saying that we don't have enough time left, that we'll have to do that as a movie or a manga. We also got hints of Shiva fight, the Ifrit fight, so I think that this is really going to be Summons and Arden centric, and I just knew there was something really off and iffy, and I kind of thought I was going a bit insane when Tabata said we're going to be looking to draw a line under 2017. I just remember thinking, what? Tabata, what are you saying? I mean, he's been talking about drawing a line under 2017 because there comes a point when it's too dragged out. So even he's admitted there's a point. And then less than a week after you say that, Tabata, you come out and you totally flip. I mean, totally flip to the other position. And now you tell us there's going to be a second season pass that we can pay for, and that you're going to be assembling a team to do it. Now that's really the part that I think a lot of people haven't focused on, and that I've been kind of racking my brain about, because we know that the Division 2 team, about 70% of them have been stayed on for the DLC. So I know there's a lot of people who say, oh no, they shouldn't be wasting their time on this DLC, and then other people come in and say, well, it's not wasting their time, it's DLC, it only takes a few people. No, it takes 70% of the team, which that was originally 300 people, so a significant portion of Division 2, they've been held up. They've not been moving forward, they've not been doing other stuff. Although admittedly Tabata has been speaking about this big new project that Division 2 have just started looking at, we can easily say that that hasn't really got that far because so many people have been held up on doing the DLC. But it's curious to me now that he's saying he's going to be looking to assemble a team. And he's saying this around the time that Division 2 have found a new project and that they're starting to work towards that. So what that kind of implies to me is that Tabata must be pulling resources from somewhere else. Because why would you have to assemble a team when that DLC team have already been in place? So that's curious point number one. Curious point number two, and I've only got 2 curious points, was somehow COMRADES, supposedly at TGS, it actually won Best Expansion of the Year award. That kind of blew my mind. I mean, that's great. I mean, it must be a damn good expansion if it's won it. Oh, I don't know where we are with these DLCs anymore. But I'm going to say I've got to agree with people at this point. There's been so much backlash, and I think this is a huge misstep. Although this DLC I'm so excited for, as a personal fan, the parts of the story that I've been looking for has been Luna, it's been Arden, and it's been the backstory of the Summons. And when Tabata's now talking about doing all of those things, and that is likely this Season 2 pass is going to be covering that, I can really imagine we're going to be getting some Insomnia, more Gralia, more Tenebrae, and all the really exciting blanks in the story that us fans have been craving for. But is it too late? Is it too late at this point for anyone other than, you know, super crazy hardcore fans with real passion and love for the 15 DLC? Is it too late? I've got to say yes. All you got to do is go on the internet and see how people are reacting to this, and there's an element of truth in saying that buying this Season 2 pass, is it going to be endorsing and encouraging incomplete games and this whole dragging a game over a stupidly long period of time that no one should have to sit and go through? Like, no one should have to wait this long just to get a complete story. These aren't DLCs that are expanding the story, aka exploring avenues that the original game, didn't really cover. This is just getting in parts that should have been in the original game, and it's true. We should know why Ignis went blind. We should know why Prompto was an MT. We should know what the hell Ifrit's involvement was in the game at all. We should know these things. So there really is a side to me at this point that kind of doesn't want to buy this DLC, even though it's everything I've been waiting for. I kind of do feel like we need to put a foot down with Square Enix, especially when they're now saying that this structure of dragging out a game story over a 2-year period and making this choppy service type structure that Matsuda's saying this is now the business model going forward. I kind of am in a bit of an impasse. I want to put my foot down against that, but at the same time, I've come this far. I have followed 15 for 10 damn years. Followed every article. I have read every piece of Ultimania, backstory, front story, inverted story, up story, down story, just to try to know the story. I've come too far to give up now, and that's the thing. I just want to know the story at this point. I feel like that's what a lot of fans are like, and I've said, no, I don't even think they should do this as big DLC, sort of big, grand, huge, you know, gameplay stories. Why don't they just put a library in, for God's sakes? Put a library or some sort of data log into the goddamn game at the end of 2017, give every part of the story that you didn't put in the game, and just draw a damn line. You said you were going to do it, Chapter. You said there comes to a point you have to draw a line, and there is. I mean, for heaven's sakes, look how much fans are having to spend just to get the full story of this one particular rendition of Final Fantasy. I spent £180 on the Ultimate Collector's Edition. And you didn't even include the Season Pass in that one. I spent 180 quid and you didn't put the Season Pass in free, but you gave the Season Pass to the people who bought, I think it was like the 50 or 60 quid Game Edition. What? Where is the logic? So I had to... God, I flirted it. Right, I might be out of focus, but screw it. I have paid 15 quid for the Season Pass. I had to pay 15 quid for Kingsglaive, and now I'm going to have to pay even more for another Season Pass, and that's not even including all of the other stuff that you could have paid for. Mobile games, the offshoot games, some of those mobile games which were only available through certain pre-orders. Like, you made this entire universe impossible to actually purchase in one go. So I've got to say, I'm nearly 230 quid down, and I still don't know the full story of your game. That is insane. I don't have words for that. So while everything about me is super excited to be seeing this Season 2 pass, because I was really going to think, if they're drawing a line down to 2017, that's it. I'm not going to be getting to see all these stories that I've been following for like a year. They're fully fleshed out with all the POS stuff, but even if you are also excited, you've got to admit you have to put the foot down, and you have to admit that for the fan, because that's the thing, half the time when I do my videos, I'm not thinking about myself and what I'm personally excited for, I'm thinking about the franchise as a whole, and unfortunately Square Enix, you're going to lose so much support. Like, I really think from what Matsuda said, that this service type model is going to, quote, increase customer satisfaction and increase revenue for the company. Well, you're not going to be increasing your revenue if people stop playing your game, and it really is the case that even just from what you've done so far is too dragged down, too milked, that you've lost fans. I know so many people have said this is their last Final Fantasy, and I know that might seem like bluster, and of course anyone who says it's the last Final Fantasy, they'll always end up coming back when it actually comes out. No, I actually genuinely believe you've lost fans. So what I'm saying is, however much money you're going to make from this Season Pass and this structure, I think you're going to lose just as much money in the loss of fans, in loss of integrity. It sure as shit ain't increasing customer satisfaction. I don't know where the hell they've got that from, and I just think that all of what you're going to be putting in Season 2, the Season Pass 2, you could have put in Season Pass 1. I mean, you could have done it, Chapter. If you'd have cut out all of the crap, all of the assassins, the Chocobo Carnival, they're now looking at doing a second VR. That was another little bit of news this week. They're doing a second VR. My mind boggles. What are you thinking? What are you doing? So I'm going to play them, guys. That's my negativity out of the way. I'm super excited. I really hope that Tabata can really steer this next part into a position where us fans, we look at it and we go, oh, we're actually glad that they've come back. Because if you screw this one up again, if you now drag it into 2018 after saying you wouldn't, and you don't absolutely nail it, that's going to spell disaster for you guys. But I do think that with all the feedback they've heard, that they've heard from us fans, actually, and this might be a fool's optimism, I actually am optimistic. I think that with this second round of Season Pass, that they're doing it knowing what us fans want, and that's why they're doing it. And I've got to say, I've got to commend Tabata, like, for how much he's had to go through, and we know he's had to pick up so much shit for this. Side of me that wants to commend them trying new things, and the fact that they haven't given up, and that they are really trying to improve their game. The fact that he's saying this next pass is going to be all story based, the fact that we did do that poll, and I really think we could get multiple options. So everything with Arden, Ifrit, Shiva, Gentiana, Luna, all of those really cool parts of the story that we've been yearning to see. I can imagine that we're going to get multiple ones, not just a few, but maybe if we're lucky, damn, we'll get them all, who knows. But there it is, guys, that's the news. What do you think about Final Fantasy 15 continuing on into 2018 with a second Season Pass that we will have to pay for it? Are you done? Are you out? Or are you going to see if they could pull this last one off? I'm going to say that this is possibly for me Square Enix's last chance to win me with the DLC, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to stay bright, sunny and optimistic. It's genuine. I believe in you, Square. Whew. 230 schmeckles later, and I still don't know the fucking story. What a time to be alive! Until the next video.
Goodbye.